Hey guys, this is X. This new patch came out, 3.3.3, and they added a lot of really neat stuff in it for Death Knights. And I have my buddy Nap here, who, as you know, is a really high DPS Retribution Paladin, and I want to show you, um, this setup that I came up with to help you guys generate a lot of single target threat. Let me explain Nap what I'm doing right now. Explaining the intro right now. One sec. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, what I did, I changed my spec up some. Let me explain to you what happened and how I'm kind of taking the biggest... He's out there killing scorpions. I'm taking the biggest advantage that I possibly can. And let me start up the timer so I know how long I'm talking again. To get the biggest advantage that I can out of all of the changes that they made. First of all, Nerves of Cold Steel, they changed the offhand weapon damage to 25%. So I think that's either 10 or 15% higher than it was before. Secondly, Endless Winter is something I've picked up now as well. It increases your strength by 4%, and the Mind Freeze thing is nice too. But it increases your strength by 4%, which increases your attack power, which increases your threat. Alright, so those are two big things. Nerves of Cold Steel I already had, so that was just a passive little buff that I got. Endless Winter I decided to pick up, but what do I give up for Endless Winter? Well, if you look at my Unholy Tree, I no longer have Epidemic, because my diseases... my diseases don't need to last all that long anymore. You see, you want to be recasting Icy Touch frequently, because Icy Touch is now a very high threat ability. So, I'll come back to the Frost Tree, and you can see I've actually put the third point into Improved Icy Touch, so I get that extra 5% damage. I only had 2 points in it before, and now I have all 3. So that gives me a little extra damage from Icy Touch. And in addition, if you look at my glyphs, I have the Glyph of Icy Touch, which increases the damage from Frost Fever, which is useful. Now, I also gave up Morbidity, and Morbidity was something that I had before because it was really, really useful for pulling AoE in Heroics. This is something I'm going to have to get used to. So my future Frost Tanking Heroics videos, you know, they're not going to be using the same rotation I've used before because this patch has changed just about everything for me, and it's really fun. I've tested this spec out in a Heroic already, and it does work for AoE. I'm not sure how it works with someone as high DPS as Nap, though, but I'll have to test it out and show you guys. Anyway, and in Blood, here's the trick. I took up Death Rune Mastery. This is going to let me turn all of my runes into Death Runes by using Obliterates. And so that'll turn my Frost Runes and Unholy Runes into Death Runes, and my Blood Strikes will turn my Blood Runes into Death Runes as well. I don't know, I think I was saying Unholy Runes. But these all turn into Death Runes, which I can use as Frost Runes. And these runes I will then use to spike Icy Touch. Now, if you'll remember, in my previous video for single target threat, I was getting up to about 5.5 to 7 or 8k on average, spiking up to 10. 10 was as high as I got. Well, I think you guys are in for a treat. Let me show you how this works. Oh, I've also picked up a slow offhand weapon as well, and I gave it Rune of Razor Ice. That's right, I'm still defense capped. Normally, you would want Rune of the Nerubian Carapace on both of your weapons, but I don't need the extra defense. Nab's waving. Let me tell him to say hi for the camera. I don't know what he's doing. He's waving the wrong way. He's waving at a mountain. That's awesome. But anyway, I put the Rune of Razor Ice on there because they changed the Rune of Razor Ice too, so that it has a 100% proc chance, and it stacks 5 times, giving you 10% more, threat. Sorry, 10% more frost damage overall. So let me show you how I've combined all this to work. I'm having Nap go all out DPS on this guy. As you know, this guy can't die. This boss in here, he can't be killed. So he's a great target to test your threat per second. And I can't think of anybody better out of everybody that I know to pull DPS and see if they can pull aggro off of me than Nap. So, alright. We're just going to get right into it and take a look at Omen down there at the bottom. I got a nice big Omen window again. And let me tell him to just go for it. Fire! Okay. I start off with Icy Touch, Plague Strike, Blood Boil. I'm sorry, Blood Strike, and Obliterate. Alright, so that's what I used to get early threat. And look at the difference between our bars. I'm at 6,000 threat per second, but let me show you the kicker. Now my rotation changes to Obliterate, Obliterate, Blood Strike, Blood Strike. This changes all of my runes into death runes. Once they come back up, it's Icy Touch, Icy Touch, Icy Touch, 10k, Icy Touch, 9k, 14k, Icy Touch, 16k, Icy Touch, 15k, 17k threat. Alright, now we'll do it again. We'll go Obliterate, Blood Strike, Blood Strike, Obliterate. All my runes are death runes now. Icy Touch, 11k, Icy Touch, 14k, Icy Touch, 15k, Icy Touch, 15k still, Icy Touch, 17k, Icy Touch, 18k, 17k, 19k. Alright, and I got a free Howling Blast out of it. Again, Obliterate, Blood Strike, Blood Strike, Obliterate. All my runes are death runes now. Icy Touch, 9k, Icy Touch, 8k, Icy Touch, 11k, Icy Touch, 14k, Icy Touch, 13k, Icy Touch, 17k, and a free Howling Blast. Obliterate to get my... Now let's redo it. Obliterate, Death Strike, I'm sorry, Blood Strike, Blood Strike, Obliterate. All my runes are death runes. Icy Touch, Icy Touch, Icy Touch, Icy Touch, Icy Touch, Icy Touch. That kicks us up to 20k on that one. And again, Obliterate. Oops, I don't even have Horn of Winter up. Let's put Horn of Winter up. Horn of Winter, Obliterate, Obliterate, Blood Strike, Blood Strike, and again, Icy Touch, Icy Touch, Icy Touch, Icy Touch, Icy Touch, Icy Touch, 20k again. Icy Touch one more time. Now we'll go again. Obliterate, Blood Strike, Blood Strike, Obliterate. You don't even need your Plague Strikes. Free Howling Blast, and then Icy Touch, Icy Touch, Icy Touch, Icy Touch. You guys can see the picture. Now, the high threat does come in spikes, but as you can see, Nap can't possibly catch up. And he's doing almost 5k on a single target. That's pretty good for a... oops, he did his little threat reset thing. Alright, so then we'll start off again. Obliterate, Blood Strike, Blood Strike, Obliterate. Nap thinks he pulled aggro, but really it was an aggro wipe. I'll have to explain it to him. Alright, that's a good time to leave. Come on out, because I'm running out of video time anyway. I gotta explain that to him. Alright, just let him know that that knockback he did is an aggro wipe. Phenomenal testing. He used the flask, he used the food buff, he used all kinds of stuff to help him boost his DPS. And I didn't even have Horn of Winter up that whole time. So yeah, guys, that is actually incredible. So let me thank him for helping. Thanks a ton. This video will be out tomorrow for sure. All right. There was something else that I wanted to mention before well, like I was saying, the threat comes in spikes when you do it this way. Need anything else? No, sir. That was it. Unless you want to run some heroics after this. I understand. If you're too tired, though. I misspelled understand. Doesn't matter. Alright. Yeah, it's better single target threat than warriors too. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But then again, it is on a lower mob. But whatever. Like I was saying, the threat comes in spikes. But those spikes are so large that while your threat is that high, nobody can really catch up to you on that at that point. So, yeah, guys, there's something else that I wanted to mention, but I forgot what it was. I'm sure I'll come up with it in another video, or I'll append it while I'm editing this video to the end or the beginning or something. All right, guys. Hey, he started to do it. That's cool. All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and take off for now because I'm at the 8-minute-and-a-half mark, and I don't know how long it was before I started the timer. So please rate, comment, let me know what you thought of this video, and yeah, just go from there, guys. I'll see you later.